Hello everyone, I am recording using a different application, Camtasia, to demonstrate a few things on the meeting host side of the Adobe Connect Pro meeting environment as follow-up to our session yesterday on Monday, April 11th. I am in the same AC demo meeting space that we used yesterday, and I have cleared the chat pod from the text of the conversation that went on yesterday, and I did that just to demo a couple of other features of the environment. I did that by clicking the little gear in the lower corner of the screen and selecting clear chat. There are a few other features here that are really handy, like changing the text size in the chat so that the users on the participant side can see larger text in that pod. Those are very nice to keep in mind and to have handy. You'll notice that the layout of the page is a little bit different from what it was yesterday when we were in our meeting, and I deliberately set up a new layout just as a demonstration. You can do that yourself by choosing New Layout from the menu at the top of the screen, and the new layout will allow you to create a blank and select which of the pods you would like to use in that layout. And so I arrived at this arrangement by making a new layout. If you look at the lower portion of the screen, you'll see that the standard sharing, discussion, and collaboration layouts are still available, and there I am on my new layout. I'm going to turn on camera and voice by clicking, and you'll see that, as we talked about yesterday, you're presented with that Adobe Connect Flash Player request each time, and so I'm going to turn that on, and now I'm told that I am broadcasting my camera, and you can see the indicator here that voice is being transmitted, and you can see here the little green is also telling that voice is being transmitted. I can change the volume level here in the room if I need to. If some of the participants raised their hand using the little indicator here, they could say speak louder or speak softer depending on how things are going, and I can modify that here on the little drop down menu, or in this case the drop up menu from the talk button where the little microphone icon is there. I want to share my screen for just a moment, and I'm going to actually go over to my Adobe Connect homepage just to show you again and remind you that there is wonderful help available from the Adobe Connect Training Center. I have embedded one of their videos on creating polls in the Wikispaces page for you to look at, but I got to that by going to one of opening the Getting Started link and going to a list of just tutorials and general learning videos that are available from there. So this is a great place to go just to generally orient yourself to the environment and learn how it works. I also wanted to show you quickly on the host interface about sharing documents, and you'll see that I have several PowerPoints already loaded into the room, or I can select from my computer, and if I select from my computer I'm going to be presented with the same menu that you usually get, and I could choose from my desktop anything that I wanted to share from there, any others. I'm not going to add any more documents here, but I'm going to open up a PowerPoint just randomly that I have already put into the room and show you quickly about polls. The polling pod, as explained in the demonstration video from Adobe Connect that I put in for you, it's really best to create your poll questions ahead of time rather than on the fly. I think someone asked about doing them on the fly yesterday, and you'll see that there are several poll pods now that I created just in playing around with this feature, but I did create one here that I might use in this presentation, and it's called "Why Are You in This Session Today?" So if I click on that and open the poll, there it is appearing on my screen, And I actually do have a slide called "Why Are You in This Session?" And if I were doing this as an Adobe Connect virtual meeting, I could present this poll. In order for participants to be able to see the poll, I would need to click Open, and so participants could then vote and their results would be broadcast. So to have this removed from the screen and no longer display throughout my presentation, I do have to go back to Pods and I have to unselect the poll that I have displaying. Now let's go to one of the empty ones that I have there. I'm going to just choose poll 3. It's an empty poll pod. If you'll look, when I hover over the border or the upper border of the pod, I get a 4-way directional arrow that is telling me that I can move this to another location on the screen, and I'll just move it over. I can choose between multiple choice and multiple answers. So let's make this one a multiple answer. What is your profession? And I could put higher education. And I'm not going to worry about spelling and stuff now. I could put whatever your question might be, and I'm not going to continue to do that. But I'm in the Prepare option here. I can select some other things about this poll, and broadcast results needs to be turned on in order for your participants to be able to see the results fall in as people vote. I can choose result setting to show as a percentage, to show as numbers, or show both. I'm going to leave it there. And so when I open the poll, this is what participants will see, and they'll be able to see the results as they come in, and they can choose using a radio button on the polling pod. Then when that's closed, I'll end it like that. It no longer appears to the participants, but it's going to still be on your screen. So to remove it from your screen, you have to go to the drop down and unselect it. So that's a little bit of a follow-up to our session on yesterday, focusing on the polling pod. If you think of other things that you would like to learn more about, I will search through the Adobe Connect training materials, and I can add things to our wiki page as you request them. I also want to remind you that I will be working and available all summer long if you are working on courses and you would like some assistance with anything that you're working on, and I am happy to come to your office and work on your computer on your course and your presentations at any time. That if you have something that you want to spend some time building together, I'm happy to do that. Just let me know. My number is 5470 in the office, and you know my email address from the wiki page. So this is a little bit of a follow-up. There are many more features that I would encourage you to once again play around with and experiment with, but I'm happy to help you with that experimentation process if that's something that you would like.